Mr. Williams was at the Buffalo Wild Wings restaurant located at Crenshaw and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard. The suspect vehicle pulls up from behind him and alongside him, almost going in the opposite lanes of traffic.
Shots fired from the Infinity's passenger side killed Jermaine.
The reason this case is so tragic is the fact that Mr. Williams had a daughter that was born the day after he was killed, which makes it all the more sad. A friend of Mr. Williams, a female that was in the car, sitting in the front passenger seat, she was also shot but survived. Mr. Williams had a daughter that was born the day after he was killed.
Today's video is going to be about the murder of Jermaine Williams, aka Strong from the Rollin 40s. We're going to break down how he was set up by a Buffalo Wild Wings employee and how he got killed the day before his daughter was born by some brims trying to get retaliation for an OG that just got killed 2 days before this. But let's get into it. On February 26th of 2016, police would respond to shots fired on the corner of Western Ave and West 42nd Street. This would be in the heart of the Rollin 40s, and as you can see, it would be the Black Circle. Police would arrive around 12:30 in the morning, and when they got there, they would see Jermaine Williams and a female passenger, both with gunshot wounds. And the only evidence that police had at this time was that Jermaine Williams was from Rollin 40s, and he left Buffalo Wild Wings. And they would have camera footage of a white Infiniti SUV following Jermaine Williams when he left Buffalo Wild Wings up until he would arrive on 42nd Street, where he was shot. A little bit of time would go by, and then officers would receive a tip that the person that drove the white Infiniti SUV would be Baby Stretch from Fruittown Brims. The Fruittown Brims would share a border with the Rollin 30s and be close to the Rollin 40s. And this would be Baby Stretch right here. And his real name would be Jamar Wilson. But like we said, Baby Stretch, aka Jamar Wilson, was a known member of the Fruittown Brims. And the OG that he lost would be Kenneth Durden, and he was killed on February 23rd of 2016. He was killed in Harvard Park, which police say is a stronghold for the Brims. And as you can see at the bottom, Baby Stretch was even there when they killed his OG. The shooting of the OG Brim happened at 3:55 in the afternoon, and he was sitting inside of his Cadillac when the shooter approached and fired multiple times. This murder would happen inside of the Black Square, but as you can see, all of the murders that happened around that area. In that whole area would be home to the Six Deuce Brims. But like they said, it would be a stronghold for all the Brims, like the Fruittowns and the VNGs. A memorial for the OG would be held 2 days after his death, and Baby Stretch would attend, and somebody named Baby Nut would tell him to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. In that same exact night, Baby Stretch would get a text from somebody saying don't get caught up in your emotions about the OG, and they would pretty much beg him to not hop in a car and go get caught up. Police would say that was a reference to a plan to go kill Jermaine Williams, who was a Rollin 40. Police would then say he ignored that advice and picked somebody up named Montel Egan's, who was a part of the group. And Wilson, who was Baby Stretch, knew that Egan's had a gun. Jermaine Williams, who would be the one from Rollin 40s, would be at the restaurant eating with his girlfriend. That's when a Buffalo Wild Wings employee would call Baby Stretch and the Brims and tell them to come to the restaurant. They would then pull up 3 cars deep, and the video footage would show only Baby Stretch went into the restaurant. He didn't order drinks or talk to anybody. He just walked in and walked past Jermaine Williams, who was the dude from Rollin 40s. He was in there for less than 15 minutes, and they didn't say anything to each other. Video footage would then show Baby Stretch and all the Brims outside waiting for Williams to leave Buffalo Wild Wings. That's when they would follow him right away. They would say the shooter was Montel Egan's, who was hanging out the back window. And at first, when Baby Stretch was arrested, he would tell the police that he didn't own the Infiniti, and he wasn't present for the shooting. The police would then interview Baby Stretch again, but this time they would play video and audio of Baby Stretch's girlfriend, saying that was Baby Stretch's Infiniti. He would later admit that he did own the Infiniti, but he would claim that he let Montel Egan's borrow it, and his cell phone was in the car. And he would also tell police that he got rid of the Infiniti because it was involved in a killing on Western Ave. There would be a few witnesses that seen the whole thing, and he would see somebody out the back seat shoot 7 gunshots out of the Infiniti, with Jermaine Williams getting hit 4 and his girlfriend getting hit 2. But since he lied the first time, police wouldn't believe him, and they would arrest him, and they would place Baby Stretch in the cell with Montel Egan's. but this jail cell was being audio recorded. Police would hear Baby Stretch tell Montel Egan's that he's worried that they got the vehicle. Egan's would then reply and say that they're faking it, but Montel Egan's would have his suspicions and he would tell Baby Stretch to be quiet. But with a little bit of time up in that cell, Baby Stretch would eventually admit that he drove the Infiniti to Buffalo Wild Wings to grab a drink and chat with women inside of the restaurant. And he would say even though he drove the Infiniti there, he would leave in a different vehicle, which would be behind the SUV, and that Montel Egan's took his Infiniti. He told police he didn't want to go with Montel Egan's because he knew Egan's had a gun. He would also tell police that he has no clue why Montel Egan's committed the shooting. But like we said earlier, little did he know that police had the whole thing on video surveillance of him only going inside for 15 minutes and not speaking to a soul. And even though he tried to blame his friend multiple times, he would still be charged. And when you look up the case number, he has no co-defendants, which means even though other people were arrested, nobody else would be charged besides him. So clearly they didn't believe his story. He would then have to sit in the county jail for the next 6 years while he fought this case. But on July 11th of 2022, he would be found guilty on all counts, and he would be convicted by a jury. The jury would find that Baby Stretch's statements were not credible and that he in fact was the driver when the shooting took place. But even though he was the driver and gave up names of the shooters in the beginning, he would still be the only one that went down for this. But 3 years after he was found guilty, he would have the attempted murder charge reduced to an assault with a firearm on a person on April 15th of 2025. And as you can see right here, the court would reverse it. And the reason why they reversed it is because they said the court instructed the jury on a kill zone theory. A kill zone theory is a legal concept related to attempted murder charges, where a defendant might be charged with attempted murder of individuals in the vicinity of the primary target, even if those individuals weren't the target themselves. And since the DA told the jury what that was, they were able to reverse it. But either way, they would give him 25 years to life for the murder. In the other 2 counts, he would be able to run them concurrent. Baby Stretch has been incarcerated since 2016, and he was arrested at the age of 30, but he's eligible for parole in August of 2035. And like we said, even though Baby Stretch tried to tell on everybody, this right here would be the search results when you look up Montel Egan's, who Baby Stretch would name multiple times through his interrogation. But as you can see right here, Montel Egan's would not be in custody. But rest in peace to Jermaine Williams, and I'm sending my condolences and love to his family, his friends, and his daughter who was born a day after he was killed. But that's going to wrap it up for this video, and I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Comment, like, and subscribe. It's Respectable Rants.